Hey guys, it's Tia. Welcome to the video. So I've sold thousands of print-on-demand products across various platforms and I'm still making passive income every day from my online stores. But I'm far from an expert in this industry. There's obviously people that have sold a lot more than me and are far more experienced or even full-time print-on-demand sellers. And when I first got started, I asked some of these people for advice and I read their discussions on forums. And today I will be sharing 3 of the most important tips that were a game changer for my journey, as well as things that I've learned firsthand, obviously, which I think will be realistically helpful and not just, make better designs or read the rules of the platform, although those are things you should definitely do. So far too often, I hear people giving this advice: make designs you would wear yourself, or ask your family and friends whether they would buy your designs. Now, I've sold designs for vegans, skateboarders, and teenage girls. Am I any of those things myself? No. Is anyone in my family any of those things? No. So how am I supposed to just know what these people in these communities want to spend money on? Okay, sure, if you're a vegan or a skateboarder yourself, you'll have an idea of what kind of things you'd want to wear on a t-shirt because you're in those communities. But you can't possibly think you know every single niche just from general life experience, can you? So the first mistake that I actually made when I got started, and I want you to avoid, is not designing for your target market. If you want to sell in a wide range of niches and make consistent income, you have to get into the minds of those people in those communities from a commercial perspective. How do you do that? You go to different marketplaces and online stores and you sort by best selling. What kind of design, style, and aesthetic appeals to that kind of customer? Are there any trends or memes that keep popping up? And most importantly, some marketplaces will indicate what products have sold recently. If there's reviews, they'll have dates on them and what kind of things are still popular nowadays. What makes people impulse buy? Even better, are there any products that stand the test of time? You can find keywords customers are searching for using various tools, a lot of which are free, and you just pick the high demand keywords and phrases which are lower in competition and not intellectual property, and you make a relevant design incorporating elements of the best sellers that you've seen, and now you've got the possibility of a design that has the potential to go viral. It's really that simple. So a few examples. Vegans seem to have a thing for avocados. Teenage girls like pastel colors and this font. Those are just the types of designs that sell well. Who knows why? It's just how the world works. You can make an amazing design that you think looks great, that you would wear or your family might wear, but if it looks too corporate, a teenage girl is not going to buy that. Wrong style of design for the target market that your keywords are aimed at. And you don't have to follow the crowd either. As long as you do your research, you'll have a much better understanding of what sells, and this will help you come up with new ideas and stand out. But you can't possibly do this if you don't even know what the best sellers in the niche look like. The second mistake is buying paid tools and courses before you've made sales. Now, as someone that makes money myself from affiliate commissions when people use my links to buy tools, I would not be telling you this if I didn't think it was advice that some people really needed to hear. Now, when I recommended these tools in past videos, they're all tools that I use myself and I show you exactly how I use them. I've also, alluded to the fact that they're just time savers for certain aspects of the process. But today I'm going to be making my opinion crystal clear, and that is, if you're a complete print-on-demand beginner, you do not need paid tools and courses. Why? Because, and I'm sorry if this sounds harsh, but if you haven't made at least a couple sales, then you do not understand the process yet. That's completely fine. You can learn. Information you can find for free online is more than enough for you to make your first few sales. And at that point, you'll have an idea of how running an e-commerce business works. Then investing in paid tools and courses can help you save time, they can make you more money and pay for themselves. If you don't even understand the process well enough to make a few sales, how can you possibly know how these paid things will help you and not just waste your money? The only way to learn this stuff well enough to make a profit is to take action and try it yourself first. This is also psychological on some level. So some people think that they can take this one course or buy this one tool and that will make them their first sale, or that will even make them financially free. They're relying on these things as their golden ticket. Now, I've had people message me asking what to do, saying, they've bought this course, they've bought that tool. How many sales have they made? 0. Once you start to make your first few sales, you also start to believe that making money online is real. It's a funny thing, at least for me. I didn't believe people could make money online from nothing until it actually happened. At that point, you have a much better understanding of where you can save time. Same thing with courses, you can learn from other people's experiences, But how are you going to practically relate that information to your business if you have no business to begin with? And here I'm just talking about the legit courses made by people that actually are sellers themselves. There's also course scams, obviously, people that haven't done the business trying to sell you a course on it. Obviously avoid these. That's a whole other complicated issue I don't really want to get into in this video. Anyway, I've talked to sellers making 6 figures a month with print on demand, and most of them use some kind of paid tool or have taken a course. But guess what? When they started out, they made sales themselves using free information. Then they invested in these things to make their lives easier. I myself started out just watching free YouTube videos, reading articles, using free design tools like Inkscape, Canva, Photopea, and then I got a few designs that sold well and began investing in paid tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, research tools, etc. For example, I use Sales Samurai every time I upload to Etsy because it helps me save time doing a lot of things like keyword research. If I was a beginner and I didn't even know what keyword research was, then how is a tool like Sales Samurai going to help? Now, granted, keyword research is not rocket science, low competition, high demand, but it's one of those things that does take time to put into practice. I have videos on it, other people have made videos on it, there's articles you can read, there's also a lot of free tools. Now, that's just my opinion. Granted, some people might disagree, maybe this one paid course or this one tool got them their first sale or skyrocketed their sales, then fair enough. But I would say for the majority of people, learning to make sales using free information first is the best way to go, and it will help you spend money more wisely if you do decide to invest in paid tools later. And a lot of the time, these people selling you the tools might be promoting these tools for commissions, so you should be careful about any sort of miracle claims or, this one tool made me a millionaire or something like that, Also, this doesn't apply to every business. So if you're doing something like Amazon FBA where pretty much everyone has this one paid tool like Jungle Scout or something, and you're investing a lot of money up front, then that's different. You might actually be at, a real disadvantage without those tools, even as a newbie. I'm not talking about those kind of businesses. We're just talking about print on demand here. And as someone that's been in the space, I can tell you that is not the case. You can find all the information you need to get your first few sales for free. The most important thing as a beginner is to understand the process. So research, design, SEO, marketing. How do you know whether you've understood that? It's very simple. Have you made sales or not? Now, the last mistake is assuming what works for other sellers is going to work for you as well. Designs sell for a range of reasons. Maybe someone was early to a trend. Maybe they're like an old seller, so they rank higher, or they have a big social media following they can promote to. Every seller's circumstance is unique, and if you try to mirror exactly what someone else is doing, it might not work for you. In fact, it probably won't. The only way to discover what sells for you is to test. As I said, understand the market, take inspiration from the best sellers, and then put your designs out there. You'll start seeing patterns of what sells, what gets favorites, add to carts, or more traffic by connecting Google Analytics. That's another point. And you start to collect your own data. At this point, you make more designs with the keywords that are working for you, and you'll start to see progress. So those are my top 3 beginner mistakes you should avoid when starting out with print on demand. Keep in mind, I've been a seller for 2 years, but I'm still learning new things about this industry all the time, and you should be too. Let me know if you agree, and if you're a seller, what advice would you give to beginners just starting out? Or what advice would you tell your past self? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.